Hi, today I'm going to show you about the key signatures starting with the order of flats. And what a flat does is it lowers a pitch by 1/2 step. So as you can see on the screen, we have the order of flats, and there are 7 of them. No matter what you play, the first flat is always a B flat. If you have 2 flats, the second one is always an E flat. The third one is always an A flat. Fourth is always a D flat. The fifth is always a G flat. The sixth is always a C flat. And the last one is always an F flat. And you can have any of these, or you can have none of them, or you can have any number, but you cannot skip. You cannot have a B flat and an A flat in your key signature without including the E flat. And one way to remember the order flats is battle ends and down goes Charles's father. When I was going through school, we always learned BEAD, B-E-A-D, greatest common factor. So that is the order of flats. And this is what it looks like on the treble clef up top. Your B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat. And it's in the same order, but different placement for bass clef because the lines and spaces are slightly different for each clef. But notice that the flats are staggered on the staff and they follow the same order. Next up, we have the order of sharps. And a sharp does the opposite of a flat. It raises a pitch by a 1/2 step. And because it has the opposite function, it also is in the opposite order. So instead of starting with B and ending with F, the order of sharps starts with F and ends with B. And so the first sharp is always an F sharp, followed by a C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and finally B sharp. And you can't have a G sharp in your key signature without including F and C sharp. So the more sharps you have, like if you wanted to include an A sharp or B sharp, you have to include all of the sharps before it in the order of sharps. And finally, this is what the sharps look like on the treble clef and the bass clef staff. And the order is always going to be the same: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. So whether it's treble or bass clef, the order will always be the same and they will always be staggered. So that is it for the order of flats and sharps and what key signatures look like on the staff.